Hello. Hi. Can I get some attention on me, please? All right. I know everyone is eager to enjoy the bar and enjoy the night, but before we wrap up all the talking, Tarun and I had a few words that we wanted to share. Thank you to our friends and family for all those really, really kind words. It means so much to both of us, and to have you all here together to celebrate our love. For those who want to continue talking, please head outside. Seriously. So when he proposed last year, this day seemed so far from us, and we genuinely didn't imagine it would come together so beautifully. So thank you to all the people who have worked tirelessly to make everything about this wedding truly magical. We want to thank our families for not only putting up with us this last year, but putting in so much effort to make every moment so special for us. Specifically our parents for making this entire wedding possible. To our siblings for everything that they've done behind the scenes, including all the performances they have planned for tomorrow night. And of course, Hanisha for working tirelessly to coordinate everyone's dances over 10 different time zones. We also want to say thank you to every single person in this room for making the effort to be here with us. We appreciate it's not easy for schedules to align in the chaos of life, so please know that we appreciate you for being here to make some beautiful memories that we'll never forget. And of course, to all our friends and family who couldn't make it, most of them because it's baby season, we love you, we miss you, and we wish you could have been here with us. Last but not least, to all the people working tirelessly behind the scenes, including the extraordinary decorations and production team led by Marissa, the light and sound team, the musicians and DJs, the photographers, and of course our wedding planners, Magnificence. Thank you for the commitment, the hard work, and pulling this wedding together for us. So with all the formalities and thank yous out of the way, Tarun and I both wanted to share a few words of our own. I'm going to keep it short and sweet to avoid becoming a ball of emotion on this stage. For those of you who didn't know all the details of our story, our friends and our siblings have definitely added some color to paint quite the picture today. And the one consistent theme through it all is how undeniably connected Tarun and I have felt since the day we met. It really felt like the universe had a plan and we were just along for the ride. But we wouldn't have had the opportunity to even be on that ride if it weren't for our families. Growing up, my mom and dad supported everything I ever wanted, even if what I wanted wasn't exactly what they wanted. But I have to assume it's because they trusted me, giving me the space to grow into the confident and independent person that I am today. But as modern and as progressive as they are, just like any Indian parent, they did raise me with lessons on what it would mean to be a wife and daughter-in-law one day, and how I would need to behave with my future husband. They taught me to be kind, not knowing that one day I would have to kindly cook 2 portions of everything with and without onions and tomatoes. They taught me to be patient, not knowing that one day I would end up with a guy who truly believes he is always right. They taught me to be strong, not knowing that one day I would have to leave Hong Kong and move to a different country. They taught me to be self-sufficient, not knowing I would end up with a guy who supports my career despite the late hours. And they taught me to be generous, not knowing I would find a man who has given me more than I ever thought possible. I will say my parents grew increasingly hilarious once I started dating Tarun. At first, it was occasional questions about marriage, which didn't bother me much. But then it turned into daily phone calls, asking for good news, and my mom ultimately telling me to just go and buy him a ring, since I've always lived life on my own terms, and equal rights in this modern day and age means women can propose too. Clearly, they loved Tarun, and they didn't need any convincing on whether he was the right guy for me. He fit right in, and as far as I can tell, he can do no wrong in their eyes. On the other hand, when I first met Tarun's parents, I was terrified, mostly because I was unprepared. We had just made our relationship status official, And 2 days later, I got stuck in Koh Samui because of the airport shutdown in Hong Kong back in 2019. So with nothing but bikinis and flip-flops in my bag, Tarun suggested I come to Bangkok to wait it out so I wasn't alone. And his parents kindly offered me their guest room for as long as I needed it. I was freaking out. What if they didn't like me? What in the world am I gonna wear? All I have are bikinis. Isn't it invasive for me to just show up to their house? We technically only been official for 2 days. I was in panic sweats, but they couldn't have been more kind and welcoming. And ever since I moved to Bangkok, they've loved me and treated me like one of their own. Which is why this entire wedding, and more specifically the union of our two families coming together, has been so seamless. I was already his, he was already mine, and today we simply made it official. I do wish my grandparents were here to witness Tarun and I taking this next step together. I love them all dearly and know this moment would have brought them so much joy. To my dada and dadi, our time together in this life was shorter than it should have been, but I hope you will watch over Tarun in the same way that you watch over me. To my nana, who is in Hong Kong right now, we will see you in a few weeks and bring the party to you. And to my nani, who left us before Tarun and I got engaged. I know you were always worried about me, worried that I wasn't eating enough, worried about the bullies in school, worried about my future. But please don't worry anymore. Tarun proposed just like you somehow knew he would, and he's promised to hold my hand through all of life's challenges, and more importantly, trouble me as much as Papa troubles Mama and Sean troubles Sharina. My heart is so full today, receiving all the love that's beaming from every single person in this room. Thank you for making our wedding day so epic.
All right, sorry guys. My speech is really long. Like really, really long. Hello? Hello? Oh, they shut me off, sorry. Good? No? Okay, sorry. My speech is really long. Anyways, I know we've had a wonderful set of speeches, but hey, I'm the groom. So you're gonna have to listen to me for a little while longer because I have some really important people to thank. I need to say a few words about. Now you guys understand why I got married, right? No other reason. How else can I force all of you guys to listen to me for the next however many minutes this takes? So the people I want to thank first are my grandparents. I consider myself very lucky because I got to spend the first 34 years of my life with all four of my grandparents alive. It's really rare. Sadly, less than 18 months ago, we lost my Dadaji. And for those who knew him, you know what a big loss that was. For those who didn't, behind his extraordinary intelligence and never give up attitude, he's a very kind and caring man. I wish he was here today to witness this wedding because he's someone who would have loved every moment of it. He would have experienced every emotion possible. And if you had managed to drag him away from that buffet, you would have had a great laugh with him. But I know he's up there, and he's taking the time in his busy schedule to spend the last few days looking down on us and enjoying the festivities. This weekend is something he was really looking forward to, and he wouldn't have missed it for the world. We all miss you, Dadaji. My Nana, or Nanu as we call him, unfortunately he's reached a stage in his life where traveling is extremely difficult for him, so he couldn't be here today. But growing up, we're very lucky to spend every summer and most winter breaks in India. Therefore, we spend a lot of time with my mom's side of the family. My Nanu is a very special human being with so much worth admiring. He's a man who would do absolutely anything for his daughters and his grandkids, maybe even to a fault, honestly, because his way of showing affection is to take on every burden that you can possibly think of. But he's a rock star, and we all know it. At the local market, everyone knew who he was, and just being his grandchild garnered you the same respect from every vendor that was there, along with all of his discounts, of course. He made everyone feel special, and that's why they loved him. The thing that stands out the most about Nanu, though, is his mind. It was always weird to hear this saying, an elephant never forgets. Nah, Nanu never forgot. He would tell us stories from his youth with details I couldn't even give you about my day yesterday, honestly. Very impressive when the thing he's talking about was 50 years ago. I cannot talk about Nanu without talking about bridge. It's a card game for those who don't know. The game he has seemingly mastered and passed down to his grandkids, probably just so he had someone to play with. His permanent partner, youngest brother Anuj, while his favorite targets for teaching mistakes, Udit and I. His memory was so sharp that he would play a faultless game and still tell us after every round exactly where we went wrong and how that caused a domino effect to another loss for the two of us. Even when his eyesight started to fail him, his ability to play bridge did not. Nanu, you are one of a kind, and even though it saddens me today that you can't be here, we'll be back in India very soon to celebrate with you. My grandmothers, they're both here. Unfortunately, because of their old age, they couldn't stick around too long, but I'm going to talk about them as if they were still here right here in this room. Many of you know my daddy, the OG of the Indian Women's Club. But don't let her size fool you. She's a titan amongst all of us. Bold like you wouldn't believe, she speaks her mind without fear. And if you've done something she doesn't like, you'll definitely know. I'm just lucky I'm my favorite grandchild. Crisis averted. Sorry, Udit, Anuj, and Sandhya. I think she made that pretty clear from the start. We had some incredible memories together from our childhood days when we'd go over to the house and she would have a concoctionous basin and milk ready. I mean, they've already spoiled the story, but basically to rub on our bodies because it's the best way to get rid of all the dirt on you and make your skin lighter. Sorry, Dati, as you can see, it didn't seem to work. The best thing about being her favorite grandchild, she would always have rasgullas and basin laddus ready for me whenever we went over. And whenever she called, she wanted to speak to me first. Usually those calls would end with what I wanted to eat the next time we could go over to their house. But in all seriousness, it's Dadi's tough love that helped me build character and assertiveness over all those years. I love you, Dadi. Stay true to who you are. And now on to my last grandparent, but definitely not the least, Nani. First of all, my Nani makes the best puras, and getting them every so often for breakfast would really help our time in India having to drink that disgusting milk. But Nani's not just an incredible cook with recipes that would keep her grandkids coming back for more. She's kinder and sweeter than the basin she would feed us. Without a complaint, she would put everyone else first because just how selfish she is. Looking at her and talking to her, you'd see she's a saint of a woman who never uttered a bad word about anyone. But listen to her, and you realize how tough she is from the upbringing she had. She loves to listen to your stories and be entertained by her family and their silly ways. And one thing about Nani is, she'll always tell you how proud of you she is, even though what you did definitely did not warrant that. I can safely say that when Nani is there, you feel her warmth and you feel her love. But let me be real. If my Nanu's the king of bridge, Nani is definitely the queen. Secretly, just as sharp, and the only reason we lose is because our cards just are not as good, right, Nani? I love you, and I'm so grateful you came. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. Next up, got my uncles, aunts, and cousins. As we started to grow up and our lives became busier, unfortunately our times together became more scarce. But the times we meet are still filled with love and laughter that's been there since our childhood. Building on top of the great memories we've had all those years, just because we don't see each other every weekend or spend 3 months straight together, doesn't take away from all those cherished moments we had as one large family. The trips, the celebrations, or just the regular lunch at Orient or Pan Pan allowed us to bring together Chatu's quick wit, Charchi's artistic flair, and well, Sandhya, I guess you really did get something from both of them, didn't you? And then in India, we had our wild Masi, who loved to act closer to our age than our own, and of course, those two crazy kids she gave birth to, Dhwani and Dhun. There's also three really important people in this room today who I want to thank. I don't know if they're still here, but I hope they are. So for those who have known me a while, you know how big of a part they play in our family lives. P1, she's been looking after our family and our home since the time Udit was born. And P. Wade, he married her not long after, and when our previous driver took a new job, he joined us and has been a part of our family for almost 25 years now too. Then there's P. Kop, who just absolutely does it all and never hesitates to help when anyone needs it. It's because of these three people that our lives become so much easier, and even though I've been working hard this weekend too, I can see they were able to enjoy a large part of these festivities. It's very hard to find people who aren't your family, but will treat you and care for you the way these people do. The reality is, there's no other way to look at them except for the fact that they are our family. ขอบคุณมากสำหรับทุกสิ่งที่คุณทำให้ครอบครัวกับผมครับ I can't continue this speech without talking about the two girls who stole my heart. No, Sasha, she does not have two personalities. I'm talking about Arya and Kyra. Yes, Sasha, my nieces, officially. These two monkeys whose videos make me laugh the moment I watch them, and then again for the next 50 times I watch them again. Their yin and yang personalities have been a constant source of entertainment, and even though they aren't our kids, the love I feel towards them is very real. I guess I also have to thank their parents, Sean and Sharina, my new brother and sister, because without them, no Arya and Kaya, right? I'm joking. You aren't just their parents. You're also my future kids' babysitters. So I guess I better be nice to both of you. Although after our babysitting trip in October, you guys definitely owe us babysitting duties for either one kid, 8 days, or two kids, 4 days. Whenever that time comes. In all seriousness, though, thank you so much for being there for Sasha when I couldn't be and supporting her with everything she does. You have to know I'm so happy that both of you could be a big part of this wedding and bring your personalities into so many of these events that we have today. This weekend, sorry. Amma and Dada, Auntie Honey, Uncle Cole, I don't know how to express my gratitude that you accepted me as a son from day one. So much so that Uncle Cole somehow even called me his only son at some event we went. I'm sorry, Sean. But the reality is, you've done so much to make me feel like a part of your family, even before I proposed to Sasha. But the biggest reason I should be thanking both of you is for raising someone as wonderful as Sasha. Looking at her, it's clear she has traits from both of you. Not sure if that happened voluntarily, or whether you pushed her into being more like you. But regardless, the results are flawless, and I'm here, lucky enough to have her in my life. To all four of you, it's unfortunate COVID significantly reduced our chances to spend time together the past few years. But now with that over and wedding planning out the way, you can be rest assured Sasha and I will be in Hong Kong more often, and I would love for all of you to come to Bangkok more often too. I know Uncle Go won't say no to that, but it applies to the rest of you too. Otherwise, no more sourdough bread from Holy for all of you. And now, my friends. Here they all are, flying from all over the world, some taking flights that lasted longer than 25 hours. Still shorter than the speech, though. And despite their old age, still going strong, bringing the energy at every event. I'm so glad to see that so many of you can still drink the way we used to before this white hair started to grow on all of us. What I always underestimate about my friends is that these are people I can always count on when I need them. Very rarely do any of them let me down in my time of need. They're a combination of the kindest, smartest, most caring, and most reliable group of people a guy can have in his life. The thing about me is, every learning institution I ever went to, I didn't walk away with the best grades, but I walked away with the best of friends. From BPS to Monash to INSEAD, they met me, they didn't hate me, and they stuck around long enough to be here tonight. Thank you guys for being here and making this wedding an absolute epic shit show that none of us will ever forget. I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have all of you as my friends. You're the best. I love all you guys. Udhit and Anuj, my brothers, they see you can't pick your family, and they're right. Just joking. My brothers are the two of the greatest people you'll ever be lucky enough to cross paths with. Both unique in their own way, and they're the reason I grew up with such a happy childhood. Okay, sure, we fought a lot with intention to kill, but the games between fights we had are memories that will never fade. I didn't have much to do as an eldest brother. They made my life a lot easier once I stopped being their punching bag on the days they decided it was 2 against 1. Because they were independent and self-sufficient from the start and had their own big personalities. Without them, family trips wouldn't be half as fun, and my parents probably wouldn't be looking to continue that tradition until the end of time. They both also grown into such responsible human beings. Something a decade ago, most would have been like, that's far-fetched. But I'm proud of both of you and the way you are and the place you are in your lives today. Udit, you've always been and continue to be the loud, crazy, outspoken one. The one who got into the most trouble and also the one who lived life with a joy not found by many. While we all have lifelong friends, you have somehow close to hitting 30 years with yours, which is remarkable. Because of our closeness as age, we had a lot of adventures together in our past, and now we have Prana, business that has given us a lot of difficult times, but working alongside you the past few years, I've learned a lot. The best part, though, is how in this past 4.5 years, we've only had one proper fight, I think, about the business. Which is pretty rare to find. I guess we've always been on the same wavelength, even before our time as business partners. Your crazy commitment to fitness puts us all to shame. And now it looks like you're next on the wedding carousel. Give me a month to recover, and I'll give you all my tips. Don't worry. Anuj, to the outside world, the quiet guy, but loud as a firecracker to anyone who's in his circle. Mr. Independent from a young age, and so strong-minded and willed that he knew what he wanted and he would do whatever to have his way. From the guy who would eat Cocoa Crunch straight from the box to someone who now makes his own breakfast, apparently. Doesn't even struggle to make his own dinners as well. I'm amazed. P1 would be so proud. But honestly, so am I. We don't work together, so I don't spend every day with you like I do with Udit, but I can clearly see the shift that's come into your life for the better. All in all, pretty smart guy with a lot of knowledge about a huge array of topics, and definitely the only person in our group of 6 who I would consider worthy of my skills at Catan. Sorry, Sasha. I love you both so very much, and I'm so lucky that I'm your brother. All right, I'm getting close to the end. Don't worry, it's almost over. But this is going to be one of the toughest parts of this speech for sure. Mom and Dad, the words I say tonight are not going to be sufficient about the way I feel about the both of you. I'm going to try my best. As many of you know, my looks are exactly like my dad. He's even got photos of us at home when we were both younger, side by side, framed up at home to prove it. My personality, though, I would say a larger portion comes from my mom. But even so, I like to believe that somehow I managed to get the best of both worlds when I lucked into being your son. We have more than we ever dreamed of now, but growing up, even though we were not as comfortable as we are today, we never were made to feel like we didn't have enough because my parents, they did a wonderful job in instilling the values into all of us. That is so much more than what you have in life. Collectively, they've been the best parents any kid for asked for, let alone to the three troublesome boys, which is what they ended up with. It's not just the way you've raised us and let us learn from our own mistakes to become better human beings, but how you allowed us to grow into our own over time by giving us advice, but the freedom to figure things out. Beyond that, you taught us the importance of family. Nothing can ever compare to the family trips we've taken across the years, the places we've been, and the incredible stories we have from those holidays. I could go on for days if we were to sit down and reminisce about all the good times we had and how unique and fun each of those trips ended up being. Your love for travel passed on to me right away, and I know we're going to continue these holidays with a bigger group now, forever. I do have to mention, because it's very important, I have been watching the two of you around those cats, Chapo and Kobe. It's so clear from the way you care and nurture those two menaces, by the way, who can't look after themselves. It's your way of unknowingly saying that you're ready for grandkids. Wedding done, so I guess we're one step closer, huh? My biggest thank you has to go to both of you for allowing and helping to make this wedding everything it has been. Dad, you've always given us everything we ever wanted, so that we'd have the freedom to go as far as we could. Sometimes we've let you down, and for sure, I know that it's disappointed you and upset you, but your love for us always comes through, because you still want us to feel like we can achieve anything and everything in life, and there should never be any fear in us giving whatever we choose to do, everything we have. What you've achieved in this life cannot be quantified because of the lives you changed throughout the process. Despite all those long hours spent in the office building that company, you're still an incredible father who somehow managed to do it all. I cannot imagine having to travel for work somewhere between 180 to 200 days a year and still make sure that wherever in the world you are, the flight will bring you back in time to be there for your son's soccer or basketball games every Saturday morning, and even coaching so many of our teams throughout the years. You always say you were not the best student in class, but that's so hard to fathom because your knowledge on all topics is a sight to behold. You've shown that putting in the hard work really does matter, and with it you can get anywhere. You're a role model like nobody else in the world, especially for me. I love you, Dad. Mom. Can't read this, sorry. Okay. Mom, you spent most of your life alongside a man whose larger-than-life personality could take over a room. So it's your turn to be in the spotlight now. You're very clearly an angel, sent to put up with 4 men who make you want to pull your hair out. You've always been the one I could turn to and rely on, and you worked so hard to raise us the right way. You supported me in everything that I did and trusted I would make the right decisions in life. Your love is so strong and unconditional. Its absence was always felt whenever we're in different countries. Your dedication to be the best mother knows no limits. You always came through. In this loud household, you may be the quiet one, but you've always been the strength of this family. Thank you for always believing in me. I love you, Mom. Stand a minute. No, you have to talk about you now. Sorry. Stand there, please. Sasha, it's now your turn. The non-wedding mode of me would have been said to you that you already made me say my vows. So I've used up all the nice things I have to say. But the reality is, you're such an incredible person that I really do have so much more left to say. What's amazing to think about is despite having all these wonderful friends who like me enough to be here, the moment they meet you, they seem to like you more. I don't blame them though. Being the incredible person you are, it's no shock that people like you, and I still haven't come across anyone who has a bad word to say about you, even when drunk. Hey, I guess it reflects good on me though, and the life choices that I made, so that's okay. Honestly, life has been really tough. I'm sure many of us have felt that way through various points in our lives. So many things happen in our lives that make it difficult to deal with, and I know I felt that way before too. But then you stepped into my life and things changed. You were sent to make my life easier, and you bring joy back into my life. You make me smile, and fortunately that just makes the days fly by. Because damn, do the days fly by when I'm with you. I'm really proud of the person you are. Watching you crush your career, job after job, year after year, getting to new heights never thought imaginable. Your independence and your mastering of the industry you're in. Marketing, right? It's just so admirable. I can't wait to see what you achieve next. But I'm also here to make some more promises to you because, well, the ones during the vows just were not enough. The one other thing I want to promise you the most after learning why is you fell in love with me is that I'm always going to make you smile and I'm always going to make you laugh. I want you to always be in love with me. And it's become clear to me that I need to make this happen more than anything in the world for you to continue to do that. The way you care about those nieces of yours leaves me in zero doubt in my mind what an incredible mother you're going to be one day and how lucky our kids are going to be. And whenever that stage in our life comes, something I'm really looking forward to, by the way, I promise to be bad cop once a week just to give you a break from it.
I'd be bad cop.
You're a bad cop. Okay, now I promise I'm almost done. I chose to have my life intertwined with you because of all the things we get up to together, the adventures we go on, the restaurants and bars we explore, and the smile you bring to my face wherever we are, and how we love to compete with one another in any game format possible. But the main reason I want to be with you is because of the person you are. I use this word all the time when I describe you because it perfectly captures who you are. Altruistic. I haven't come across anyone who puts everyone else above themselves the way you do. And this year, I have watched you drown in work and wedding planning, but still manage to come through for family and friends when they need something. Sasha, you're the most incredible person I've ever come across, and I'm so lucky that I get to call you my wife. I love you more than words can describe.
All right. We don't want to keep you waiting as it's been a long night of talking and what we really want is more dancing. So without further ado, let me hand it over to the DJ and invite you all up to the dance floor so we can dance the night away. Thank you.